Pyongyang, North Korea. A Tuesday morning. Ordinary government workers walk through the entrance of an administrative building and take the elevator to their floors. On the third floor, a team is in the middle of a bank robbery. On the fifth floor, another team is printing U.S. currency. Neither team thinks of what they do as a crime. They think of it as their job. They have annual performance reviews. They get bonuses paid in the foreign currency they produce. This building does not appear on any official North Korean map. Its official designation is Office 39 of the Korean Workers' Party Central Committee. The world knows it as Bureau 39, and it is the most dangerous financial criminal enterprise currently operating on Earth. North Korea's official economy generates approximately $18 billion per year in gross domestic product. It is one of the smallest and most isolated economies on the planet. It cannot access international banks. It cannot trade freely. Every major currency transaction it attempts is flagged, frozen, or seized. Bureau 39 generates between $500 million and $1 billion per year. Operating entirely outside the global financial system, it is legally barred from entering. By going around it, that money funds one thing above all others: the nuclear weapons program. Bureau 39 is not a criminal organization that supports a state. It is a State Department that operates as a criminal organization. The distinction matters because no law enforcement agency in the world has jurisdiction over it. A North Korean defector who worked in a department connected to Bureau 39 described it to researchers in Seoul as simply a good posting, regular hours, clean offices, a canteen that served better food than the government standard. The bonus system, the foreign currency payments, was the reason everyone competed to work there. They were among the only people in North Korea who regularly handled US dollars. Nobody discussed what the dollars were for. That was understood without being said. The image of North Korea that dominates international coverage is a country operating at the edge of collapse, a regime clinging to power through fear, economically primitive, internationally isolated to the point of irrelevance in anything except its nuclear threat. That image is accurate as far as it goes. But here's what that image leaves out. Since 1974, North Korea has been running a sophisticated, professionalized, and highly effective criminal enterprise out of a government office building in its capital city. An operation with dedicated departments for counterfeiting, for cyber theft, for narcotics production, for money laundering through front companies across multiple continents. The UN panel of experts on North Korea has documented this operation across more than 15 annual reports. The U.S. Treasury Department has designated dozens of front companies and individuals connected to it. The evidence is not classified. It is not disputed. The office building is still open. The workers are still arriving at 9 in the morning. The bonuses are still being paid. If you're finding this as disorienting as I did, subscribe. We cover the files that the official story doesn't mention. New file every week. Back to the story. The building Bureau 39 operates from is located in the Pyongyang district of Pyongyang, in the administrative zone adjacent to the Korean Workers' Party Central Committee complex. Access requires party clearance. Staff are drawn from the top tier of Kim Il-sung University and other elite institutions. What happens inside has been reconstructed from defector testimony, U.S. Treasury sanctions documentation, UN expert panel reports, and financial forensics conducted after major incidents connected to the Bureau's operations. The ground floor handles administration, scheduling, payroll, in a currency most of North Korea never sees. The logistics of running an operation whose output must leave the country without triggering international detection. The front company's Bureau 39 routes its money through span at least 40 countries. The logistics team manages relationships with shell companies in China, Singapore, and several African states. They manage transfer routes through cryptocurrency exchanges after 2017, when North Korean hackers pioneered the use of digital currency as a sanctions bypass. The second floor contains what U.S. Secret Service analysts have described as the most technically sophisticated counterfeiting operation ever. Documented. North Korea's counterfeit $100 bills, designated Superdollars by the Secret Service, or F. 14,342 inches. Their classification system are produced on intaglio printing equipment obtained through front companies in Europe. The paper is manufactured to the same 75/25 cotton linen specification as genuine Federal Reserve paper. The security threads, color-shifting ink, and microprinting on these bills are accurate. Not approximate accurate. For 2 decades, North Korean superdollars circulated through banks in Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Europe before detection methods improved. The total estimated output of the counterfeiting program between the late 1980s and its documented peak in the early 2000s, estimated at $45 to $60 million per year in face value. In 2004, the U.S. introduced the redesigned Series $2,400 bill with enhanced security features, specifically to defeat North Korean counterfeiting. The program became less viable. It did not stop. The third floor, and several additional locations across the city, and in foreign postings handles cyber operations. The relationship between Bureau 39 and Bureau 121 North Korea's primary cyber warfare unit is structural rather than separate. Bureau 121 generates the attack capability. Bureau 39 monetizes it. The 2016 Bangladesh bank robbery is the clearest example. In February 2016, North Korean hackers used malware planted months earlier in Bangladesh bank systems to submit 35 fraudulent SWIFT transfer orders totaling $951 million from Bangladesh's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. 30 of the orders were blocked or reversed due to a spelling error in one transfer and a routine bank compliance flag on another. 5 transfers totaling $81 million cleared. The money moved through accounts in the Philippines was converted to casino chips at several Manila casinos and disappeared into the cash economy within 72 hours. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York processed 35 fraudulent wire transfers without triggering an alert. The FBI attributed the attack to a North Korean state-sponsored group known as Lazarus, operating under Bureau 121 direction and Bureau 39 financial management. That $81 million funded approximately 2 weeks of the North Korean nuclear program at its documented annual cost. The fourth operational area of Bureau 39's activity is narcotics production. North Korea produces methamphetamine in state-controlled facilities that were originally built as pharmaceutical manufacturing plants during the period of Soviet economic support. When that support ended and the pharmaceutical supply chain collapsed, the facilities were repurposed. UN and US DEA documentation estimates peak North Korean methamphetamine production at between 30 and 40 metric tons per year in the early 2000s. Distribution routes ran through China and Japan, with secondary markets in Southeast Asia and Australia. North Korean state vessels and submarines have been interdicted carrying narcotics. In 2003, Australian authorities intercepted the Pongsu, a North Korean cargo ship off the Australian coast, with approximately 50 kilograms of heroin aboard. The ship's crew operated under diplomatic cover. Bureau 39 has been formally designated as a sanctions target by the United States Treasury Department, the European Union, and the United Nations Security Council. Sanctions designation means that any financial institution that processes transactions connected to Bureau 39 or its front companies faces severe penalties. It does not mean Bureau 39 stops operating. It means Bureau 39 adapts. After 2017, when North Korean hackers began targeting cryptocurrency exchanges, Bureau 39 found a sanctions bypass mechanism that has proven significantly harder to interdict than SWIFT-based bank theft. Between 2017 and 2023, North Korean state-sponsored hackers stole an estimated $3 billion in cryptocurrency. The UN panel of experts documented this figure in its 2024 annual report. That $3 billion, in a 7-year period, exceeds the entire national income of many UN member states. The workers still arrive at 9. The bonuses are still paid in foreign currency. The building is still not on the official map. The defectors who have described their experience of working in Bureau 39 or connected departments share one detail that recurs across multiple independent testimonies. They did not think of what they were doing as wrong. Not because they were unaware of what they were producing, they knew. But the framing inside the organization was patriotic. The counterfeiting operation was described as economic warfare against American imperialism. The cyber theft was described as the vanguard of the struggle. Performance reviews measured output, monthly output targets for the currency operation, annual targets for the cyber theft division. These were discussed openly within the building. One defector, speaking to researchers at the Asan Institute for Policy Studies in Seoul, said, "I thought about what I was doing sometimes at night. Then in the morning I came to work. We all did." That sentence covers the entire history of organized state crime. It is the sentence that explains every atrocity conducted by institutions. The morning routine outlasts the night's doubts. The existence and scale of Bureau 39 poses a fundamental question about the effectiveness of economic sanctions as a policy tool. The sanctions regime against North Korea is the most comprehensive ever applied to a state actor. Every major economy participates. Every significant financial institution in the world is legally barred from processing North Korean transactions. Bureau 39 generated an estimated $3 billion in cryptocurrency theft in 7 years, on top of its continuing narcotics, counterfeiting, and bank theft operations. All of it in explicit violation of every sanction imposed. The nuclear program has continued to advance. The missile program has continued to advance. The sanctions have not stopped either. What Bureau 39 demonstrates is that a sufficiently determined state actor with a technically skilled population and no accountability to international law can fund a weapons program indefinitely through crime. The sanctions work on legitimate economic actors. They do not work on an institution whose entire purpose is to circumvent them. The international community has been fully aware of Bureau 39 for decades. The UN has published detailed reports. The US has imposed specific designations. The building is still there. The operation continues. In 2024, the UN panel of experts attempted to submit its annual report on North Korean sanctions violations to the Security Council for the 15th consecutive time. Russia vetoed it. The panel was dissolved. For the first time since 2009, there is no UN expert body with a mandate to document North Korean sanctions evasion. The building in Pyongyang is still open. The workers still arrive in the morning. If this changed how you see what North Korea actually is, share it with someone who still thinks sanctions work. Subscribe for the next file. It drops next week.